What's up guys, it's Jughead here, just a down-to-earth guy trying to bring you some down-to-earth content. Welcome back to my Let's Watch Jujutsu Kaisen series. Today we're going to be watching episode 2 titled Jibun no Tame ni, which is spelled incorrectly on Wikipedia and the fandom, and because Jibun, J-I-B-U-N, that's not supposed to be one word. I thought it was Jibun no Tame ni. But they combine it, and I don't know, it's just weird. But Jibun no Tame ni translates to for my own sake, I believe. So it'll be interesting what that means. I'm happy to get back into Jujutsu Kaisen after quite a while, just hiatus, because of taking a break for personal reasons, because of the holidays, and wanting to catch up on more Hunter x Hunter. And the way that Toho Animation has been blocking Jujutsu Kaisen from, I can assume, more than just my channel, but after like a month of episode 1 uploaded on my channel, they decided to manually block the video worldwide, which then I had to go back into my Premiere file that had everything. Luckily, I didn't delete any of the footage. To then go in, lower the volume even more to where it was clipped, and then re-upload it, and it was just a pain in the ass. Especially because I didn't want to delete the first video, because then I would lose all of your guys' comments, all of our conversations, and that means way too much to me to just delete the whole video, lose all those comments and our conversations, and just re-upload a new video that, for the people who already watched the original one, wouldn't watch this one, so this one would get less views. So I just kept the original one up, have this one up, and I think Jujutsu Kaisen is just going to be one that I have to tweak a little bit more here and there to really find the sweet spot. And it'll be the one that I have to try a little bit harder on, because Hunter x Hunter's easy, Mob Psycho is easy, but Jujutsu Kaisen is a new show. They're going to obviously be on the prowl for people using this type of content, even though it is, as I would say, transformative as can be on my channel. Even though it is uncut, I purposely weave in and out of showing you guys what is going on screen, and I have hour-long conversations afterwards, analyzing, theorizing, breaking down the entire episode. So pretty much triple the amount of time that the episode itself is. I'm here speaking and conversating with you, but I guess that doesn't matter. Not going to get upset about it. I'm happy to get back into Jujutsu Kaisen because I find it such a fascinating show, in that it's kind of a combination between Hunter x Hunter and Mob Psycho, two shows that I'm watching that I appreciate and really like individually, but then they come together and I feel like you get Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, last episode, Yuji ate the goddamn finger, so now what the hell is going to be happening to him? Megumi and Satoru are going to have to come together and be like, okay, we got a fucking demon in this guy's body, like he's fucking Gaara from Naruto. What are we doing with this guy? Let's figure this out. And I'm pretty sure that's what the beginning, like 30 seconds of episode 1 was, where you saw Satoru interrogating Yuji as he was strapped down in this mysterious room. I'm feeling that's what's going to happen right here now that they grab him, because Megumi witnessed this all happen in front of his own eyes. Him eating the goddamn finger of Sakuna, and now he had all the tattoos around him, the face coming out of his own, but Yuji, for some reason, has the capability to suppress that demon with that inside him, kind of like Naruto with the nine-tailed fox. Interesting how so many animes kind of like are influenced or inspired, or kind of share the same archetypal messages or symbols. It's really interesting. So enough talking out of me. I want to get into episode 2 and bring this series back to the channel. So let's do that right now. So Jujutsu Kaisen episode 2, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's watch, shall we? What's going on now? Here we got Megumi. He's a part of the Academy, or whatever it's called, under regulations. He sees a demon in front of him. He has to do what his job is. He has to take him out, even if he can suppress this inside of him. Yeah, is it Yuji or is it Sakuna? He's so compromised. Oh, okay. Well, there's Toru. How casual he is. He's in. I love when it's like he's kind of like a Kakashi. That dude, anime is so interweaving between everything. He's literally like a Kakashi. Like so capable and strong, but isn't taken seriously. He's taken seriously, but doesn't take himself seriously, really. Even the hair. Like, he's so badass looking, but he adds the comic relief. 1 in a million chance, right? That's what Megumi said? Well, there was something off with your body like 30 seconds ago. All the tattoos and eyes coming out of your face. Get the stretch on. What are Megumi and him gonna do? He is the strongest. See, I love a strong character, but the show doesn't try to make him so serious. Yummy. He stopped the shop and buy food. He's not taking it seriously whatsoever. Or he's just so... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's Sakuna back. Let's see his strength. Let's see his strength. Let's see this. Oh, man. Oh, the tattoos are back. The long nails. The eyes. My student's watching, so I'm going to show off a little. Yep, okay. Ooh! I love the animation when it gets into the action. Oh! Jujutsu sorcerers. No matter what the era. I keep forgetting, yes, Sakuna's from an old time. Thousands of years ago, right? Now he's in the modern times, but it's all the same. Kind of like the assassins versus the Templars. 10 seconds are up. Get suppressed. Can't take over. Goodbye. Yeah, who is Yuji? I want to know. Like, how is he able to just take over? Dude, nobody's taking anything seriously. Satoru isn't taking anything seriously. Yuji's not taking it seriously. Megumi's the one sitting like, dude, what's going on? If he isn't possessed by Sakuna when he wakes up, he might have potential as a vessel. What's a vessel? A vessel that's just going to carry the curse? Or can he be sealed? Can you seal him like in Naruto? I don't want to let him die. Yeah, are you bringing personal feelings into this? Oh, you're just admitting it. Okay. Are you allowed to do that? Kind of like the Jedi Council, you're not allowed to have feelings? And there we are at the beginning of episode 1. All connected. Oh, he was recapping everything to him. Okay. I love how he's just like hovering over the chair. Just chill. Again, not taking anything seriously. I like that. I like the vibe, the atmosphere. Oh, I was going to say, did he... Is that the finger? It says 6 of the fingers. There's 20 total. I was going to say, eating a toe sounds grosser than eating a finger. He has 4 arms. It can't be destroyed. Curse grows stronger by the day, and the seals of modern-day Jujutsu sorcerers can't keep up. If he can... Ooh, they're going to make him eat them. No, he's going to say, why not he eat them, absorb the curse fully, and then he can die. Yeah, it was a 1 in a million chance, or 1 in what chance it was? We're going to kill you anyway. Why not kill after he's eaten all the fingers and absorb the curse altogether? Ah. Die now or die later? Yep. Die right now. Or you can find all the parts of Sakuna and die after you've absorbed them. So when do you want to die? You're going to die, but when do you want to? Now I understand the premise of this story. That is cool. So far in both episodes so far, it has been the concept of life and death. I really loved the first episode where Yuji's whole thing was the people he finds precious and important to him, he wants them to die a justifiable death. Not an early death or a wrong death. I feel like he's going to carry that to himself. Yep, she's feeling guilty for them fucking unwrapping that finger like the dumbasses you are. And this is what happens. But yeah, like I was saying, Yuji, he's going to go after that. He's okay with dying. But if he can die in the right way, he's fine with that. Special grade cursed object. Draw other curses to it and make it stronger. Oh, so that's what it was doing. That's where those other monsters came from. Okay. Okay. It was so strong it brought the other curses alive. Ah. Yeah, say goodbye to your friends because you got more important matters to do now. So let's get into some life shit. Let's get some deep shit. His grandpa was like a father like to him. His first encounter with death, really. Casualties like these from curses pretty common. Yeah, in terms of damage, shit like this happens all the time. Someone dies a normal death. See, that's his entire thing. Yep. He wants people to die proper deaths. If you plan to hunt down Sakuna, you're going to witness some gruesome scenes. And I can't guarantee you won't end up that way yourself, but he can at least try. Choose your hell. Make the inevitable less gruesome. Help make the inevitable proper. And in a way, less scary, almost. What the hell is that? Are those his ashes? Oh, if all the parts of Sakuna are gone, would there be fewer people who get harmed by hurt curses? Yeah. They were describing as some super strong person. Is that his grandfather? Eat it. Eat it. But is it a risk every time? Or now that they know he is a vessel, it's not a worry? Or is it like a 1 in a million chance every time? But Sakuna gets stronger inside him every time. Ah, shit. I love this animation. It reminds me of Mob Psycho. The vibrant colors and how intense it is. Oh, now Satoru has a serious look on his face. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. But he's still able to control. He's still able to suppress it. It's not just a physical tolerance. Yep. 1,000 years. And you just walked into him. I mean, you ate the second finger. Oh, what? Yeah, you can worry about dying later. The fact is, you have a curse. Hell yeah. We got the trio getting out. Megumi, Satoru, and Yuji. I've already decided how I'm going to die. How? Sounds like a fun hell awaits. I like that. Oh, we traveling. Ooh, he's gonna become a sorcerer. Fuck yeah. Yeah, only 3? What kind of small school is this? Or are they only let in the elitist of the elite? Those truly capable. Yeah, make Grandpa proud. I want to know what happened to his parents, though. Aw, man, I want to go to Japan so bad. High school. I keep forgetting, they're only teenagers. 2 Jujutsu educational facilities. Unknown private religious school. Cool. Like the school in X-Men. Yeah, it's like a Hogwarts. I'm sure there's more than just one Jujutsu school. This is like a Hogwarts, but then you have others. The dean, the principal. Oh, is he hearing Sakuna? Oh, no. Ugh, gross. God, that's so gross. Literally like some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Oh, it came through his hand. Ooh. It'll be so... Yuji's going to be such an interesting character because he's going to have literally 2 personalities in one character. Fierce imaginary god with 4 arms. Blah, blah. He's a human that existed 1,000 years ago, but then he became this. But how did he become this? Golden Age sorcerers gathered up all their might to challenge him, and he failed. Couldn't even destroy his grave wax as he traversed the ages after death as a cursed object. Without a doubt, he's the king of curses. So... if Sakuna regained all his power, might be a little draining. Ooh, so you're confident. You're pretty confident in yourself. Oh, okay. Let's not speak so soon. Let's not get too cocky here, but... So it does answer his question. He asked if he gets rid of Sakuna, will curses around the world, like, lessen, or will people be better off? Answer is obviously yes. This guy's making plushies. You can't take anybody seriously in this show. Dude, this guy is just like a Kakashi. So interesting. Out of all the girls, Jennifer Lawrence, come on. That's so weird how it's not almost breaking the 4th wall. Like, referencing real world shit. I mean... and eat them. Oh, now we're gonna get philosophical. You only have to save one person. Yep. Save people. You don't have to save everyone. You only have to save one. You're an asshole. Ah, the plushies come to life. First corpses. The word curse used in this is so weird. I still have to understand how they're using this word, curse. Because he said, they have my curse. That's so weird, though. Like, what word do I want? Like, essence? Like, it's not like you can use chi from Dragon Ball or chakra from Naruto. It's like an essence or something. Gross. It reminds me of the green ghost from Ghostbusters. A family member is still someone else. Oh, just got flashed his butthole. Cool. Okay. Yeah, you almost have to be sociopathic. Okay. He's not really an asshole. Yeah, right? Damn. Come on, old timer. How's he gonna answer this? I don't even know the correct way to answer this. I'm trying to think. And he forgot about the doll. Yep, not easy to imagine. One thing for certain, what is it? The rate you're going, you could end up cursing your beloved grandfather. They never die without regret. This just got profound all of a sudden. Okay. This is something only I can do, so I'm morally obligated to do it. Yeah, it's only something I can do. If I managed to escape my death sentence and ran away from this responsibility, I'd be there eating food, taking a bath, reading manga, jerking off, doing whatever, playing video games. When someone out there is dying because he didn't do what he was morally obligated to do. He likes... If you don't like that answer, then fuck off. Fuck yeah. I love that answer. You better say he passes. Yeah, okay. If you didn't pass him after that, then you are an asshole. That was profound as hell. I love some philosophical shit like that. You know me from my discussions. I love that shit. I eat that up. I love hearing something like that because I already know, yep, 25 minutes worthy of a discussion alone after this. Yeah, you only got 3 other classmates. Nice poster. Yeah, if they were that easy to find. It's a scavenger hunt. Oh, they've already been absorbed by other cure spirits. Is he gonna be like a radar? There we go. Literally a dragon radar. Dragon Ball radar from Dragon Ball. Cool. Hey, Megumi. His face is all healed up. Ah! They ain't gonna start off as friends so soon. If anything, they might be rivals. Who's this? Morioka. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Yummy. I want some. Some ma? What is this outro? Oh, wow. This is interesting. I love this style. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, let's get this started. Let's get into this. Glad to be discussing Jujutsu Kaisen again. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I have so much to talk about, especially after this episode. Oh yeah, two things to ignore. One, ignore the fact I'm wearing an entirely different outfit. I recorded this episode at like 5 a.m. because my sleep schedule's so beyond messed up, and I was just even more beyond too tired to continue sitting here, watch the episode again a second time around, and then discuss for more than another half hour. I know how long this discussion is going to go. I would have legit passed out on camera or been dozing in and out looking like I'm high as a kite. So I'm here the next day, refreshed, new fit. That's the only difference. Number two, ignore my background. I decided to wash my bed sheets and I'm too lazy to put on a new set on right now. Not thinking about how weird my background would look when I literally just hit record just now and saw on my camera that I forgot to put new sheets on. Besides that, everything's the same, so let's discuss it. Just ignore that. With this episode, I now understand all the hype for Gojo. Not even just hype, better than hype, almost a reverence, a love for this character. I understand all the hype and love for Gojo that I've seen for so long on Twitter, TikTok, everywhere else. He is such a cool, badass character. I watched him on screen in this episode. The way he looks, the way he acts, and his mannerisms, let alone his power and capabilities. And it becomes apparent okay, this guy is going to become a household name, I bet, in the anime world, just as I think this anime is going to become one of the GOATs. No coincidence, he reminds me of a Kakashi. I wonder if other people say or think the same, and not just by the hair and the eye cover alone that he physically or aesthetically looks similar, but also by the attitude and the persona. This hyper capable being, prodigy, sensei who doesn't take himself too seriously. He has personality, and Kakashi is a household name within the likes of Naruto, Sasuke, Itachi, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza, Hisoka, Gon, Killua, Saitama, Levi, Straw Hat, Guts. Others, of course, I'm not familiar with yet. Same with Megumi. Both Megumi and Gojo, I can't help but immediately think of Sasuke and Kakashi, respectively. But that's just right now. I'm only 2 episodes in. That will drop as I watch more and I witness them grow into themselves as their own unique characters. It's already beginning here in this episode, understanding Megumi more as a character, same with Gojo. That's why these early episodes and discussions are so hard for me because I have little to no understanding of our protagonists or the world we're witnessing them live in. Hard to find ground my feet can plant to in objective, knowledgeable conversation when I got no knowledge at all. That's why I my confidence kind of goes down in the early stages of a new series. But then as we go in, like my confidence in Hunter x Hunter in the beginning was not very strong in my capabilities of producing quality conversation and discussion. But now that we're in episode 32, I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow. My biggest compliment I want to give is to the animation. Under 4 minutes into the episode, I think, and the action sequence I saw was so good. It did so many things. Showcase Gojo and both his personality and abilities as we need to bring him as a character more up to speed with the rest, but also the style of the show itself. I thought the only resemblance to Mob Psycho previously came from the existence of spirits and curses, psychics, sorcerers, exercising, you know? But when you see Gojo laughing at Megumi for being beat up, taking photos with his phone, the cut to Gojo shopping around town with Megumi's shocked fact that he went out and bought souvenirs while this shit was going on and just handed him a shopping bag. And not just the jokes themselves and the delivery, but the animation that visualized it for us gave me big Mob Psycho feels. Uh, Especially with like a Ragin and Gojo kind of go hand in hand for me right now. I'm getting the same vibe. That energy. The energy is something that I really like. This fight sequence, Gojo stretching, telling Yuji, "I give me 10 seconds with this fool. After that, you can come back. Don't worry, I'm the strongest." Right there. Such a badass formal introduction to Gojo. That's where I was like, okay, I get the hype for this man's. But during the fight sequence, the shots with the differing depths of field, almost feeling cinematic, the wide angle shots peeking through the metal railings, the point of view of Sakuna falling from the sky, tunnel visioning onto the back of Gojo's head as the target, as the background completely blurs away and you see nothing else but the target. Usually in action sequences, you almost get a headache moving your eyes around, not knowing where to focus. But here, your eyes know exactly where to go to. They're directed and you know what to look at. I just love that handheld camera feel, the subtle camera shake, the camera moving within our battles as if like the cinematographer themselves was there in the dust and debris, moving the camera themselves. They got the rig on and they're holding the camera themselves, but it's all in animation. I love seeing that in animation. Real world cinematography applications and stylizations in animation. Bruh, Sakuna practically running at Gojo on hands and legs like an animal running on all fours, portraying that beast that he is, while contrasting that is Gojo with his hands in his pockets, literally teleporting around, playing with him, toying with him. The two of them standing back to back while Gojo casually talking to him with a smile on his face, utter confidence. The animation's looking as though the camera is spinning around them, so fucking sick. I'm hooked. I'm engaged. I'm locked in. They got me hyped with that. Gojo, one cold motherfucker for sure. You could feel the intensity of Gojo's punches, the force of Sakuna's powers. You could feel the speed of the action. What company is doing all the animation? Because they're killing it. Kind of like God of High School animation almost. I checked out God of High School briefly because it was something I was considering bringing to the channel, but the reviews on God of High School are not very good. But everybody says the animation, if you're interested in God of High School, just go on YouTube, check out the animations and the fights, you're good. Everything else, kind of trash. And I checked that out. So what I'm thinking of Jujutsu Kaisen here is God of High School, levels of animation, sprinkling some Mob Psycho, superb storytelling. That's what Jujutsu Kaisen is to me right now. The pacing benefits from this too. I've read and learned that pacing is a big deal in anime amongst viewers. And I didn't really think about it before, but it makes sense. A lot of anime suffers due to pacing. I never really thought about the difficulty that exists adapting and translating an anime episode to episode from its source material that is a manga, which is constructed into chapters. You have a limited runtime according to your time slot on television, of course. You then have to figure out how to tell your story within those constraints. You can't have one episode per chapter. That's just stupid and not possible. Aren't chapters like really short? You'd finish a chapter without using up next to any screen time, or you'd just be including completely irrelevant info, and that's where fillers come in. Fucked up pacing. But you also can't attempt to squeeze like 5 chapters into one episode because you are bound to cut out important things. You're bound to fuck up somewhere and fuck up the pacing on the other end of the spectrum like that. Either ends up too slow or too rushed. And I never thought about that because I've never been exposed to anime before. It's like the equivalent of like if Marvel directly adapted their Golden and Silver Age comics into an animated television series. They would suffer that too. As an anime coming out at the same time as a source material, that's where it really fucks up. It's easier to adapt and animate than it is to write and illustrate. Animators are always going to be waiting for the illustrators. That's why you get so much filler in Dragon Ball Z and especially Naruto. That's why you have 2011's Hunter x Hunter anime, as Hunter x Hunter was pretty much begging for a readaptation that more closely followed the manga and with less filler. Episode 2 here took the foot off the gas, let us capture our bearings, but at no point did I think the pacing was off. Incredibly impressive considering after this Gojo versus Sakuna fight in the beginning for about a good minute or two, the rest of the show is dialogue heavy, with just one small Yuji fight towards the end, which was still dialogue focused and no complaints whatsoever on pacing. Stuff like this is what I pay attention to and want to talk about in the beginning of a new anime because it sets the precedent for the rest of the series, especially one limited to fewer episodes. A show like Hunter x Hunter with 148 episodes gets way more leeway to hone in and tweak itself just right, or to fall short on some episodes and make up for it in the next few. While a show like Jujutsu Kaisen, Samurai Champloo, Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, Death Parade, you can't afford to make those same mistakes. Once I establish my understanding of the show on a more broad spectrum, very objectively speaking, like of the show itself as a production, let me get 3 to 5 episodes under my belt, then you'll see where subjectivity takes over with the story. But yeah, I think this episode was adapted from what, like 2 chapters, I believe. They did a great job with that. The humor shined in this episode as well. I so appreciate writers who can blend between comic relief, action, suspenseful drama, and overlay it with meaningful, impactful, well written dialogue. Sometimes one of those just falls flat completely and just gets neglected. That is so lost in today's world, no matter what medium you're talking about: literature, television, theater, cinema, whatever. It hits even harder here because the themes in the show are dark. Can even toss the word morbid in there. The irony adds a good taste to it, don't you think? Like the whole show revolves around existentialism, the inevitability of death, the fear and presence of evil, destruction looming around the corner. You have history's most powerful evil being that exists in this show, as Gojo described. He's the king of curses, Sakuna, alive but trapped inside our protagonist's body. Death is on the forefront of our minds and our characters' minds, and death isn't something you typically laugh at, or you don't usually laugh at the severity of the circumstances given to you. Yuji is literally half possessed by a fucking demon, and Gojo's first response after the fight is, "Oh yeah, you really can't control him. Go figure. Wow, no shit. That's cool. I was really banking on that." And Yuji's just like, "Yep, he's a real pain in the ass though, man. Kind of annoying having this voice in your head." To get into the story, at least itself, a bit, you know me. What do I say? I love darker tones. It's what I prefer to watch. The real world is gritty. It's full of pain, cast in tragedy, tainted with malevolence. Some may say they seek to escape that reality, but I don't really want to escape it because you can't. I like to understand it better. So I like taking an art that explores that pursuance of understanding. Whether it's walking through the Art Institute of Chicago here downtown, staring at pieces of history that tell their own stories in a still image, one single frame, or appreciating the art that passes my view as I walk through the halls, or reading a work of fiction or nonfiction, exploring this universe in a story or a lesson, or in an assembled cast of extraordinary actors and actresses who live in the same reality as we do as fellow human beings at the end of the day, either in episodic television or cinema, live action, animation. All offer and provide their own attempts at exploring different aspects of the world we inhabit floating around someplace in this universe. Sure, we all escape from our present worries and issues, etc., in our immediate lives when we turn our TVs on and uh, press play on a show or a movie, or I turn my monitor on and my PC or my Xbox on and begin to just sink some hours into a video game. I like stories that acknowledge and explore the realist of the real. This whole show explores the idea that we all die, Death is an inevitable event. It's not just the one it's not just the one game we all play whether we want to or not. It's the one game we're all in on. All your chips are on the table. The house wins at the end and you cash out. This life shit is an STD with a 100% mortality rate. What Jujutsu Kaisen focuses on is only hoping what inevitably comes to you may be the most proper. Like Goju told Yuji, you only have two options before you: die right now or die a little later. Outcome is the same, the timeline is different. It's just like Mob Psycho. I'm 4 episodes into Mob Psycho, I believe. Yes, 4 or 5. I think 4. And each episode has explored an incredibly important question. No wonder some of my longest videos on my channel are from my Let's Watch Mob Psycho series, because my discussions are long as hell and deep as fuck, answering those complex questions or expanding upon them. Feel like that'll be the same with Jujutsu Kaisen. Last episode presented the concept of death to Yuji, who took that and presented to us his mission of saving those he can. And when death comes along that he cannot prevent, he wants those he can't save to die proper deaths, and leaves us to ask ourselves, what is a proper death? And I had a good discussion, I think, about that. It's been a while, so I honestly don't even remember my discussion. Here, we have that mission of his established. We understand the philosophy of death itself. Now we turn it on its head and ask and explore the philosophy of life, the idea of moral responsibility. We are a fly on the wall to the conversation between Yuji and Gojo. Gojo reinforcing Yuji's shared sentiments. It's a good night when someone dies a normal death, he says. Finding a body all torn up is on the better end of the outcomes. A good night, not when someone dies, but when someone dies a normal death. You usually wouldn't call a night where someone dies a good one, but in this new understanding, I agree fully. Gojo himself begins that transition from the first concept of proper deaths to the new concept this episode presented. Gojo said that first part, then followed it with choose your hell. Death is inevitable, but that doesn't mean you don't have choices. What are Yuji's choices? Well, first, he can choose to die now, die later, but he can also choose to save others. He can choose to do good. He can choose to do what only he can do, or he can do nothing. That is the main message of this episode. First conversation with Gojo, even though it takes place minutes apart, perfectly slips into the conversation with Masamichi, or however you want to say it, Masamichi, that's his name, right? The principal. The principal asks Yuji why he wants to do this. Why are you here? Why do you want to join this school? And Yuji gives the answer we learned in episode 1. And even I thought it was enough. But no, it needs expanding upon. Yuji decides he wants to do this because he is morally obligated to. He wants to do it because only he can. He ought to do it. He said he's already decided how he wants to die. Now decide how you want to spend that time while you're alive before you die. Masamichi doesn't want someone here because it was a dying wish from fucking someone else. Even if it was a family member, they were still someone else. They're not you. Someone else is not yourself, and your life is only to yourself. You will die, and you may die doing what you do. So, are you going to really die for something somebody else told you to do? Consuming Sakuna is something only I can do, Yuji said. If he escaped his execution, ran away from this responsibility of his, see, and even he calls it a responsibility, as I describe it, a moral responsibility. Then, as he says, Yuji, he would be out there going to dinner, sitting at home, reading manga, jacking off, while people are out there dying because of Sakuna. People he could have otherwise saved had he done what only he could do. I don't want to regret the way I lived, he said. That shit hit so fucking hard. That shit was so profound, dude. That shit hit different. So, let me dive deep into this concept a bit. First, I'm going to cut because I need to take a big ass gulp of water for what I'm about to talk about. You should know me by now. I'm very introspective and philosophical. I explore existentialism, metaphysics, spirituality, Buddhism, etc. on my own in silence. If I get the opportunity to do that on my channel with y'all, best believe I am. The quote, I don't know how it will feel when I die, but I don't want to regret the way I lived, is the correct pathway through life. And one of the things you can do to go down that pathway is recognizing the moral responsibility we all have. It gives you a sense of meaning, and that sense of meaning can be used to calibrate yourself through life. Masamichi tested Yuji to see if he could calibrate himself correctly, aiming at the highest possible good you can conceive. Okay? You hit a state that's as close to paradisal as you may ever get, because it's better to be engaged in the solution to a complex problem than to not have a problem at all. Can connect that directly to Yuji right here. It's an existential thing. Having a problem in your life is better because it's the same as saying it's better for there to be being than non-being, because simply being is a problem in and of itself. If you want no problems, then you have no being. You can have your cake and you can eat it too. For Yuji, he has a burden on his shoulders, but it's a burden worth bearing. And Yuji may become so attached and so enthralled into lifting this burden that it just justifies the fact the burden exists in the first place. For you and I, everyone, we may have problems in our lives. We definitely do. But they're problems worth solving, and we may get so engaged in solving our problems that it justifies the fact the problem exists in the first place. We have problems, they're worth solving, so they're worth having. We get to have the problem and the solution at the same goddamn time. And maybe that's better than not having the problem at all. I believe that. Yuji gets to have the burden and the journey towards lifting it at the same time. And that's perhaps better than never having the burden at all, because he would possibly otherwise live his life without truly discovering himself and making himself the best person he could be, fulfilling what is meaningful, taking on that moral responsibility. I watched all of The Lord of the Rings. I didn't like it, but the overarching archetypal story is this. You have the burden, but you also have the journey toward lifting that burden at the same time. The ring was the burden. He has to wear it. But the journey he went on justified having that burden in the first place. Just as we find ourselves in the problems we try to solve, and therefore come closer to being the best person we can be, which is in and of itself our moral responsibility while we're on this planet in this body, be your best, most authentic self. Literally what Zen Buddhism is, if you're going to try and define it, which is a paradox because by explaining it you're going against what Zen Buddhism is. Responsibility is what gives your life meaning. Ultimate meaningful lives come from taking on ultimate responsibility. With an ultimate meaningful life, you can then say it doesn't matter if life is, say, punctuated by tragedy. It's worth it at that point. For Yuji, the most meaningful act he will undertake is giving himself up as a vessel to Sakuna and cleansing the world of such an evil. It's something only he can do. It's his responsibility to undertake for his sake. Therefore, it doesn't matter if his life is tragic because it is worth it. You yourself define that responsibility. No one should impose it on you. And it's not a matter of something you should do. It exists as something you should want to do. That is what Masamichi was waiting for Yuji to understand. Only then would he pass him. Play the game of life maximally, adopt the responsibility of your own mortality, and you answer to the tragedy and catastrophe of life. Everybody wins. Who doesn't want to play a game where everybody wins? Life is suffering. Indisputable fact. Just speaking truth. And what you going to do about that? Sulk about it? Waste away? Ignore it? Play that ignorance is bliss bullshit? No. You voluntarily accept that fact and then you strive to overcome said suffering. If you do it for yourself, and it affects everyone around you in a good way. Only way to find out is by fucking trying it. I guarantee there are more times someone has tried to get you to eat something for the first time and you did and it tasted good and you liked it. More rather than the opposite and you didn't like it. More times have you liked it than you didn't like it. That's the existential element of life and the existential element to what this episode was all about. The proof is derived by the attitude you create in your life. The proof that Yuji is making the best decision is by what attitude he incarnates within himself. Didn't you respect Yuji so much by his words and his actions by the end of this episode? How can you not? Your destiny is to discover how such choices you will make will work for you. You just got to make the decision and the choice in the first place. That is almost like an act of faith in yourself, that level of commitment, because there's real reasons not to do that. So it for sure as hell is a real decision, all right. But you can't find the consequence of any decision without making the decision to begin with. There are some games you don't get to play unless you're all in, man. But what did I say in the beginning of this? What's so interesting about being alive? It's that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So, I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because do you honestly have anything fucking better to do? Why the hell not pick the best thing possible that you could do? Maybe that's how some people out there could justify their supposed wretched existences. You can find such meaning in the responsibilities you adopt for yourself that you stop asking questions about what life is really for, because you're finding the answers. You're too busy to be asking questions. It's like asking a newborn child's parents what the meaning of life is. When that baby's born, those parents stop giving a fuck about anything but ensuring that baby is okay. You ask them some existential question like that to a parent holding their child, you're a dumbass. Like, it's manifesting itself right in front of you, right in front of your goddamn eyes. It's in their arms. The answer is right in front of you. If you think life has no meaning, it's not because life has no meaning. It's because you're blind. There is no utility in criticizing that. You're a termite gnawing at a stone temple. It's futile. You're not getting anywhere. Criticize the hero, sure. Put the cart before the horse. See how far you get with that. It's fucking insane how us humans have gotten in such a clusterfuck mess over what we all believe that it's led us to pointing the ultimate weapons of mass fucking destruction at each other. And we've been doing that for decades. There's mayhem all around us. To me, the proper solution is to live properly. Be your own individual self, your own best authentic self, who you want to be, nobody else, and do and be your honest best. Wear what you want to wear, eat what you want to eat, act how you feel is the best way to act. Be your best self, be your most authentic self. If you want to highlight your hair, highlight your fucking hair. If you want to dye your hair, dye your fucking hair. If you want to wear that outfit, wear that fucking outfit. If you want to pursue this fucking hobby, go do that. Stop caring about what other people say or think and be your best good self. You take little by little every day, and I think you'll find yourself way more powerful than you think. Maybe even lighter too, because that burden, just like Yuji has, we're all like Atlas, bearing the weight of the world on our shoulders, but it can get lighter. You can even set it aside and go do what you feel you should or want. What a combo that would be, right? That the things you should do as a moral responsibility to yourself could also be the things you want to do. That's possible. Yuji found that in this episode, but it doesn't have to be anywhere near as big. So many examples I could think of. I'm not a believer, but I'll say this because it's a popular phrase, but God only knows what you are in the final analysis. Or, what did Socrates say? What a shame it would be for a man to grow old without seeing the strength and beauty of which his body could become. We all know we're blind to our own weaknesses, but we're also blind to our own strengths too. If I could get my act together and I'm nowhere near having my act fully together. But if I could get it together, I would be so much it would be so much better for me and for my family and my for my friends. I want to know how far I could take myself if I stopped wasting my time and I instead oriented myself to being my best, most authentic self and to the highest good I think I could do and be. How much could I do? I don't know. Why don't I find out? I have nothing better to do in the grandest scheme of things. Maybe that starts by reading a little bit each day, which I do. Maybe I can work my way to finishing maybe 2 books a month. I'm reading The Four Agreements and Man's Search for Meaning currently. 24 books a year? How much knowledge and understanding I could gain from that. Holy shit. Maybe that also grows by, being more consistent in my fitness health and eating better. I've started to, at least with my uh I'm not calling it a diet because diets are temporary. My lifestyle change in terms of what I consume and what I eat, I've followed for years. And I think that's where I've lacked off because I feel been under the presumption of, or like just the attitude of, at least I'm doing this. I've never had a soda in my life. I've never drank Coke in my life or drank coffee or drank any soda. I don't eat fast food. I don't really eat high carbs or high sugar. I limit my carb and sugar intake. But I've never, and I'm like, "Ooh, that balances out me not really working out as much." But I don't like that attitude. I want to be better. I have the image of my ideal physique in my head. I have for a very long time, and I'm tired of not having that. But my commitment has always been weak. Well, how about I stop being weak? It's not okay to be weak. How about I stop being a commitment failure and get my act together? A year is going to pass by regardless. Might as well work out the best I can. It's like the people who say, "Oh man, I'd really like to do that program. I'd really like to get that degree or fulfill my master's or blah, blah, blah." But it takes 3 years to get that done. And it's like, 3 years are going to come regardless. When the 3 years is up, don't you want have some at least one thing to show for it? Keyword the best you can, the best I can do, because I know up until this point I haven't been doing or trying my best. Even something as simple as waking up and getting out of bed earlier or removing myself from pointless social media interactions. Besides my brand that I'm trying to grow, YouTube here and Instagram for my photography, because those are meaningful to me. I My creative outlet is meaningful to me, but and more so Twitter would be cool to grow too. But other than that, I don't care about social media like Snapchat or shit that's going on Instagram or Twitter, like the drama stuff or celebrity stuff. It's helped with my mental so much. The negativity that's out there, especially on social media, and just really just the absolute moronic idiots with 2 brain cells in their vast expanses of their misshapen skulls, picking their noses and scratching their asses. It's so tiring. I'm so much more productive the more I keep my phone out of my hands on do not disturb, try to exploit more opportunities for success in my graphic design too. These are small things. I'm not fucking Yuji. I ain't eating fingers trying to kill the king of curses, man. I'm just doing things that can lead to me feeling more fulfilled, more educated, more successful, more wise, more productive, more content, more reliable, more confident, more positive. I think that's good. There's nothing in it for me but good if I shoot for that. Maybe by doing that, some of that good gets manifested out into the world too, you know? Maybe it inspires one other person. It could be one of you or it could be one of my friends in person if they see me. That's awesome. Like Yuji's grandpa said, just save one person. It's all about the integrity of the individual, man. All I care about is my integrity. I care about very few things and few people. People toss around the words care and love way too loosely, in my opinion. I only care about what is within my immediate locality, what I can actually change, and I genuinely and authentically care about, not lying to oneself. If I accepted my own moral responsibility to fix my problems, I may just be one person out of 8 billion, but that still leads to having fewer overall problems than before. I reduce my responsibility until it's tolerable, I don't have to fix everything at once. I can just start by fixing the things I can fix. With even less self-sacrifice than that, I can start by only fixing the things I want to fix. And man, you can go so far that way. That's what I feel like I should have been taught in university from the beginning. I think that's what everyone should have been told from the beginning in general. Aim at the highest good, aim for the star you can see instead of the one you cannot. Make yourself into something that can attain that highest good. Go out there, manifest it, and everything that comes your way after that is a blessing. Give up your resentment, your hatred, your doubt, your fear, and all that other shit. And that's hard to do, but it's worth it. What Jujutsu Kaisen teaches us all in this episode is to acknowledge that nature is conspiring against you to destroy you and will be successful in the end. But to take responsibility for the tragic and malevolent forces that are aimed directly at your heart. Otherwise, you'll miss the great adventure of your life. Within all that is deep meaning to be found, a meaning that transcends just you. It could involve not just your family and your friends, but perhaps the destiny of all humanity itself. Nothing about that is easy or secure or comfortable, and it has little to do with happiness. Happiness is a low goal. It's very shallow because happiness is fleeting. So when life's storms come along, what else do you have? Sure, it's attractive to believe all of your problems ought to be solved for you and that they're unfair. And then there's nothing for you to do but complain. How easy is that? But to me, it's even more horrifying because there's nothing for you to do except complain. And that's what's funny. That's the comedy of life. The difficulty of it is the destiny. Your destiny is insanely difficult, but maybe you're insanely up for the task. Sure, what Yuji must go through will be insanely burdensome, insanely gruesome, insanely punishing, insanely difficult, yet he still laughs and he makes jokes along the way, because that's the funny thing. He's also insanely up for the task. He's the only one up for the task. Now, that is what my brain, my emotions gather from this episode. You really gotta look fucking deep, man. When I say I dive deep, I dive fucking deep. Mariana Trenches deep. I need a submarine. And all this philosophy has yet to be fully explored. Yuji is going to be such an amazing, fascinating character because he is one body with two minds, two personalities, two identities. This is all coming from Yuji's point of view, his character. He has a whole other fucking demon, king of curses inside him. We have yet to see that evil in him, the other mind, the other destiny come out to play, to talk and fight back. And I want to see that. I want to see that contest. And lastly, this trio of Megumi, Gojo, Yuji, gonna be lit. May have some rivalries in it. I see some button heads between Megumi and Yuji. Megumi ain't really a big fan of Yuji at this point, but Yuji's just, that friendly, naive puppy, which could ultimately form a great bond and friendship, kind of like what you saw between Goku and Tien, Goku and Piccolo, And then we got Shadi coming in next episode to complete the squad. Don't know her name, but we got Bae coming to fill in the fourth seat in this squad, and I can't wait. But there is where I think I will end this discussion. If you found this video entertaining and you enjoyed it, hitting the like button to let me know is awesome. Better yet, if you want to keep up with all future content from me, be sure to subscribe to stay in the loop. Keep the conversation going down in the comments below so I can connect with you all more. Build this community here. That's the most important thing to me. Follow me on social media for my photography and a more personal side if you'd like. Having said all that, with that said, so long, farewell. Until next time, thank you, be happy, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.